Good morning and thank you for joining me on Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. The Ashanti Regional Police Command wishes to announce to the general public that a successful conviction and sentencing of three armed robbery suspects for their involvement in a robbery incident on July 1st, 2025, between 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Suspect Mahmoud Issa, 18 years of age, Samuel Techi, 18 years, and Alhas Abubakari, 18 years, in the company of three other accomplices, currently at large, riding on two unregistered motorbikes and holding machetes, attacked and robbed some residents in the Sokorim Mampo municipality of mobile phones, bags, and cash. Thanks to the timely vigilance and the intervention of community volunteers from the area, the three suspects were apprehended at their hideout. The volunteers handed over the suspects to the police, along with 10 recovered mobile phones and 3 bags believed to be stolen. On July 8, 2025, at 10 a.m., the accused were arraigned before the Atasimanso Circuit Court in Kumasi. All three suspects pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit robbery, 7 counts of robbery. So, in this case, they have been sentenced 15 years in jail. When I saw this, I was a bit sad. Then I kept asking myself, is this how far we've gotten to as a country? 18 years of age. And you know how to rob people already. You know how to steal from people. Driving motorbikes that are unregistered. So in another sense, the motorbikes they were using for their parades or the motorbike they were using in their activities was stolen. And these are young boys, 18 years of age, the three of them. These 3 boys are supposed to be in class studying. They are on the streets robbing people. And it is very, very, very sad. Of late, the robbery cases that we see, it's no longer people beyond their late 20 to 30 years. 16, 15, 17, 18, 19. This is a cause for alarm. Because at this very young age, you already know how to rob. You know how to use machete on people to take their belongings. At this age, what at all do you need? Where are you in a hurry to go to? Instead of you to focus on your studies and think about your future. Now you are going to spend 15 years in jail. I saw in the comment section when someone was saying that they should have given them 30 years so that by the time they'll come out, they'll be in their middle 40s. You are going to spend 15 years of your life in jail. Meanwhile, by that 15 years, you should be done with education. Having a work, something to do to feed yourself. And even extend it to your family. Our parents, please, there is a big role to play. Most of times, these parents just look aloof. They don't even care. And sometimes the parents even push their words into this. I always say this, if you know you can't take the responsibility of your child, why giving birth to him or her? Because if you know you can't take care of him or her and then you bring them on this earth, so long as they land on this earth, they are your responsibility. They are feeding, they are clothing, it's your responsibility. Until they get to a stage where you feel like now they can fend for themselves. But that's sometimes most of these parents, they don't even care. Can you imagine a child who leave home as early as 8 a.m. in the morning and sometimes come back after 3 days and you don't even care where they stay, you don't even care where they are. The kind of people they associate with is none of your
This is Ghana
business.
Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Sometimes these boys will come home and then I remember those times when you go to school and then you come home with even a band. My mom will ask me where I got that from. You come home with a sandals, even a handkerchief. She will ask you where you got that from. Sometimes she will sack you, go back before you come back to the house. But now it's not like that. Most of these parents, they don't care. Okojo Tony say for Asan. Some of us, you won't get it like that, or they are slapping you whilst you are crying going back to the school to look for the owner. Our parents were so inquisitive that sometimes your bag, unaware, they come checking your bag. See, our parents, they are very sensitive. They know the number of sandals you have. They know the colors of the sandals. Even your dresses, they know it very well. You come back home with a foreign material that is not theirs. It was not given to you maybe through an award you won in school or something. Or maybe a friend even gave it to you to just keep. The kind of insults and beatings you receive, next time you won't do it. But of late, our parents, they don't care. They don't care at all. Theirs is you go. It's none of my business. And then these children go out, they meet people, they get influence, and then 18 years. I think the parents of these children should bow down in shame. No child is good though, but I would say in a way, it is the treatment. If you're coming from a disciplined home, certain things you will not do. Even your conscience will not allow you. But if you're coming from a home where your parents do not care about your well-being, what you eat is not their business, what you wear is not their business, whether you go to school or not is not their business. It's like you the child, have become the mother of yourself, you have become the father of yourself, you provide for yourself. That is why all these things happen. Because sometimes when you talk to these people, you realize that it's not their willing. They wish they wouldn't even do that. But the circumstance in which they find themselves, they have to fend for themselves. These people, they have relatives. It's not as if they don't have relatives. They have relatives, but they don't care. Then you see them about 9, 10 p.m. You see them walking about in the night. Sometimes 10, 11. You see young ladies messing around in the areas. Sometimes, some of us are home. When it's 9 p.m. and you are coming home, you have to prepare a paragraph of what to tell your parents. Because they'll ask you. You have to be home. If maybe you are going out for a different thing, that is okay. But you left home like 8 o'clock in the morning and then you are coming home at 9. You have to have a paragraph, one phrase sentence to convince your parents. Because the kind of beating you receive, next time you wouldn't do that. When it's 7 o'clock, you're on a rush, you want to get back home. What are we turning our kids into? And these are the future leaders of the country. Now, if you are talking about people who smoke a lot between 15, 16, 17, 18. If you are talking about armed robbers, 15, 16, 17, 18. And most of these kids, whatever they see on social media, they want to practice. You see young boys at the age of 18, he's having his own vehicle. At the age of 18, he's having money. Like, I'm not saying you cannot make genuine money at the age of 18, you can. But sometimes as a parent, you have to question your child. You know very well that Kwesi is not working. You know he's not having any formal or informal work he does. But at that age, he owns a Land Cruiser. At that age, he brings home huge money. And then as a parent, you cannot sit them down and ask them, how did you get this money? And then most of these parents, they are clapping for their children. They are hyping them. You are doing well. You don't know the source of their money. You see, when we were young, I'm still a child though. I'm not that old, yes. I'm still a child. When we were a bit young, sometimes when your parents advise you, I remember those times even in class, most of the teachers, especially I have this teacher, I don't really like him at all because he's always on my nerve. But you know what? Growing up, I was like, hey, this man, he helped me. Trust me, he really helped me. At that time, I thought he was Ohamagen. I thought he was disturbing me. He didn't want me to have my freedom in class. But growing up, I realized that this man, he helped me. If you're a kid, you feel like you want to do, you feel you are right. Everything is right. Even the decisions you take are right. But when you start to grow, like when you start to experience some stuff, you realize that, oh, no. And sometimes growing up, you even go back to appreciate your parents because you are doing something at that time and then they prevented you. But you thought like, or more how. But now you realize that they've really helped you. And so sometimes you go back and then you appreciate your parents, not for anything, but for helping you. And that is why most of these children, they grow up and then they curse their parents. Because they knew the right thing and then they didn't tell them to do it. 18 years in prison, are they? At the age of 18 years, you're going to be in prison for 15 years where they don't even give you a proper food, malnourished. You'll get into prison and then thousands of people are sleeping in one room. That is what you want. Please. Our parents, we have a big role to play. All the time, you're calling government, do something. The governments are doing their best though because they are actually monitoring these robbers and they are arresting them. But as a guardian, as a parent, what are you doing? If today that child become a president, won't you be happy as a parent? He's not only an asset to the country, he's an asset to the society, he's an asset to you yourself, he's an asset to the family. You stand somewhere, you mention his or her name, and then you are proud of him or her. And then you leave the child to mess around, and then at the end of the day, they become a liability. Sometimes I don't blame the parents who they try their best. Most of these kids are very stubborn, especially the boys. I'm not saying we the ladies are not stubborn. We too, yeah. We have our own yikaka. But the males are very stubborn. And sometimes you hear the parents say, "Me my brain no baby onye and a brabo." And a bravo, but at the end of the day, to come back hunting you. This is what we are saying. So long as you've given birth to that child, you have a greater responsibility of him or her. Take up the responsibility. Nurture him or her in the way he or she should go. It is sad though. 18 years now, small kids, they are in prison. 18 years, 7 years, they've been arrested. They've been jailed. Not even 1 year term. 15 years. Some time ago, the incident that happened at Kaswa, the guys that killed that small boy because of rituals. Though that time, one was, I think 15, one was like 16 years. Who told them that? You had the urge to kill someone just for money. Now you are in jail. I think you'll go and answer the rest of the question when you get there. But please, our parents, you have a role to play. The life of your world is in your hands. When they get there, trust me, when they get on a bigger platform, they will mention your name. When they get in jail, they will still mention your name. Please. It's not every day we'll be calling government coming. After all, he is not a government that got you the child. The best he can do is that protect everyone because he's actually the father of all the nation. The nation is the father of the nation. The best he can do is to prevent certain things. And that is what the government is doing, to arrest these robbers and make sure that the constituent, the citizens, we can sleep in peace at night. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie Square.